stirring my happy coffee with chopsticks using the Vortex method, the only true way to optimize the taste of your coffee at the molecular level. Good morning. Welcome to the Daybreak Show. I am the Sultan. We'll get started, but first, coffee in a Builders Summit coffee mug. Perfect. Just the way that I want it. I had my interview with Anna Brees early yesterday morning. I think it was noon time for her. It was 7 a.m. for me. So I did Daybreak Show, then went out to the Van Gogh room and did the interview, which, by the way, is a very fine interview. It's the video that I did yesterday called Telling the Truth with Your Cell Phone. Powerful, poignant, watch it. Watch the video. It's powerful. It really is. And I was out there and I got cold. And I couldn't shake the cold. I literally had a chill for the entire day until about the time that I went to bed. Believe it or not, I just kind of felt, inside. My bones felt cold. But it was chilly yesterday. The wind was blowing. I thought of hollyhocks. The flower, hollyhocks. Literally thought of that yesterday. I just thought hollyhocks. At that moment, I smelled hollyhocks. Not the flower, because the flower doesn't have a smell, but the leaves, the oily leaves. You know how like tomato leaves have a smell? Like you really, when you touch a tomato plant and you rub the leaves, it has a certain smell. Hollyhocks are the same. It's an oily leaf. It has a certain smell, very distinct. My brain brought back an olfactory memory, a smell memory, without the flower being present. Only the picture of it in my head. Your mind is an amazing thing. I could have swore there were hollyhocks in front of me. They were in my head. That concept can be used to explain evil or good. I choose good. In the same way that there's hollyhocks in front of me, and I'm literally experiencing hollyhocks from a memory. I don't even remember when I had hollyhocks in front of me. What if you took your dream and put it in front of you and started physically experiencing the effects and the results of your dream, of your success? I worked with a guy years ago, and I said, picture your house. We used to meet for lunch once a week. It was like Tuesdays at 1 o'clock, and we would sit for a couple hours before he would have to go to work. He was the manager of a Pizza Hut. I might as well tell you this story. And he hated working for Pizza Hut. It was a good job. They treated him well, but he wanted out. He was a well-educated guy. And nothing against Pizza Hut. I like Pizza Hut pizza. But he wanted out. And I met with him every day for about a year. Tuesday, 1 o'clock. And he was a guy that I used to do stand-up comedy with many years ago in the 80s. And we talked about his dream. And I said, picture yourself sitting at the kitchen table in your dream house. And he did. And I said, just tell me, what are you surrounded by? And I'll never forget saying to him, what do you see when you look out the window? And he literally turned his head. He was sitting with me just like I'm sitting with you right now. He turned his head and he described what he saw out the window, just like I have a window here. He described what he saw out the window of the imaginary kitchen he had just described. And I saw his body change. I just saw him just kind of get taller and bigger and describe in vivid detail. Long story short, about a year later, I'm having lunch with him at the Valley Forge Brewery This is how I remember this. And he was getting ready to start a new job with a Fortune 500 company as like a supply chain analyst kind of thing, a materials analyst. Great job. This is back in the late 80s when making over 100,000 was a big deal. And I will never forget leaving the restaurant. We're walking out to our cars. This is a good buddy of mine. We sat down, had a meal together, talked, laughed, good guy. And before he got in his car, he says, dude, he says, I got to tell you, he goes, I would not be getting on this plane later today if it wasn't for you. He says, everything that you did with me in the past year has brought me to this point where I'm successful. It's because of you. I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you. And I said, what about what I did are you talking about? He said, the visualization. Every time we met, you told me to visualize my dream. And it came to fruition. So his dream drew him. People think that dreams push you. People nag you and push you. Your dreams pull you. He was drawn towards his dream. He's married now. 3 children. Happy. Beautiful house. And outside that window of his kitchen is exactly what he described to me in 1989. Exactly. And this all happened to him by the time he was, I don't know what his age was. I know he was a couple years younger than me. But by 1993, he had everything he had described to me. Everything. The wife, the kids, the house, a great career, and the yard that he described to a T. It all starts here. Has to work its way down to here. You can't just think ham sandwich and a ham sandwich appears. You have to do something about it, but it starts here. This, coupled with massive action, brings you to your dream. Where do you want to be this time next year? Hollyhocks. Hollyhocks. The smell of hollyhocks. How to ask a Presbyterian or Reformed Baptist girl out on a date. Your name must be Grace, because I find you irresistible. Only Reformed theologians will get that. Don't rock the jukebox. I want to hear George Jones. My heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stones. Alan Jackson, 1991. The phrase red-pilled. Being red-pilled is going to be so diluted in the next 5 months. Everyone's going to be red-pilled by November. Everybody. Being red-pilled will be completely irrelevant by 2021, because now, everywhere, everyone's getting red-pilled. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Wasn't the red pill cool when it was just kind of like an underground thing? And then it became a hateful thing. And then it became like an incel thing. And then it became like a recovery system for divorced and broken up guys. And then it became political. And then it became educational and financial. Now it means nothing. Nothing. Take some deep breaths outside today. Because ever since the you know what, you've been breathing shallow. That I guarantee. Deep breaths, fresh air outside. You haven't done that. Incorporate that back into your life again. You are in a energy sparing mode during the pandemic, which means that you're breathing shallow because you're waiting for something bad to happen. You're conserving energy. You're conserving calories. I guarantee it. You're not living as freely as you want to, especially if you watch the news. or read the news. Take some deep breaths outside today. Thank me later. It's always easier to get someone if you've got someone, right? Your desperateness always is evident to the other person. If you're trying to meet somebody, they can sense that you're desperate. The least desperate person is somebody who already has someone, which is why many people, I don't even want to say the word monkey branch, because that's related to, that's part of a certain community that I no longer associate with. But transition, how's that sound? Transition. People transition to something while they move one foot to something while their other foot is still on the other rock. When they feel they have a solid footing on the new rock, then they step off the old rock. So let me repeat this. It's always easier to get someone if you've got someone. That being said, don't rule that out as a strategy of how you are currently being played by your partner. You might be the bus stop before their last stop. Are they using the confidence that they have in your current relationship to land another better, more better relationship? I'm just asking. I took a poll. I said, do you believe in civil disobedience? 78% said yes, 9% said no, 13% said Nibiru. Do you believe in demonic possession or being influenced by evil? I truly do after watching this, you know what? As in mass delusion with its source being Satan. If you look at what Satan's job description is, he's at work now, isn't he? It's pretty darn obvious. The governor in our state here in Pennsylvania extended unemployment compensation for another 13 weeks, which means it could be mid-August before Pennsylvania actually opens up barbershops, salons, spas, gyms, and so forth. Good job, loser. Good job. When the people are afraid of the government, it's called tyranny. When the government is afraid of the people, it's called liberty or freedom. You are now living under tyranny, and it has nothing to do with you know what. Have you had enough yet? Have you had enough? If you haven't, then you need to go shopping and experience the marketplace a little bit and see how crazy this has gotten. It's insane how things have changed. And we let it. Ladies, ask your man how you can help him with his dream. It would be cool if you worked as a team, showed support to him, and you kept the money in the family. Ladies, ask your man how you can support him. Don't make me tell you again. There was a report yesterday, global carbon emissions dropped 17% during lockdown. Do you see where they're going with this? Lockdown is a good thing because there's less carbon footprint now. Less production, less positive mental health, less commerce. Come on now, come on. Don't sacrifice all of that for your fake carbon footprint. Ravi Zacharias died yesterday, went to be with the Lord, one of the most influential men in my life. Truly one of the tribe of sanity, clarity, and reason. Rest in peace, Ravi Zacharias. I have never complained how hot it is, but I have moaned and groaned how cold it is. That's how you know if you are a warm weather or cold weather person. Do you complain more in the winter or comment more in the winter that it's cold out? Or in the summer, are you, man, it's hot out. Boy, it's hot. Gee, it's sure hot out today. Where do you comment the most? Cold weather or hot weather? Interesting, right? There's times when I'm at my parents' house and my brother's house in Florida, and people are, "Whew, boy, gonna be a hot one today." Like they're complaining about it. And I'm like, this is nice. I love it. In all of the coaching that I do and have done in my life, in, as Greg's Garage said, my 7th decade, I guess I was in denial. I kept saying I'm in my 6th decade. I'm literally in my 7th decade, which is pretty trippy if you think about it. For me, it's trippy. But in all the coaching that I've done, professional and offline, it boils down to this. Every client, every person that I've ever worked with in my life, since I had my master's degree, plus 1,000 continuing ed hours, every client wants to hear me say, "You'll be fine, you'll be okay." It boils down to that. They want assurance that their life is going to be okay. And that's one of the reasons why you tune into here. You want to know that things are going to be okay for you. And with that, finish your coffee, and I'll see you tomorrow on the Daybreak Show, your daily dose of sanity, clarity, and reason.